the way it is.
Yeah, and that's something that we're watching, and it's grassroots, because, I mean, within here, DC works for us. We have people that here that are Democrats, Independents, Libertarians, Constitution Party, Republicans, but we're working together because we have the same goal as wanting to restore our government. So it really is helpful to hear, you know, your perspective and how you're handling the particulars up on the statewide level. Regarding this, regarding our whole deal in the Gulf with the drilling, and as far as that, how would you were talking about some of the issues already, how you would prevent the oil from reaching the shore. As governor, what would you do to implement? If you were sitting governor now, how would you protect us?
Well, as a sitting governor now, we started this particular point. The first thing I want to do is do everything in my power to get the resources here and to get it organized so that we have as little impact to this as possible. It's going to be bad anyway. We're not sure how bad yet because there are different levels of damage. If this oil, sheen and more substantive oil gets into our estuaries, gets into the bays, gets into where the fish and the food chain are, we can have a tremendous problem for years to come. Our fishermen are already, the ones especially up in the Panhandle, they're already out of work. They may be out of business for years. And so, but the first thing you want to do is to try to mitigate that. You want the equipment. I didn't go into all the details. I listed a few of those for you a while ago. Escambia County doesn't have raking equipment. Bay County does up in Panama City. And they've asked for equipment to be brought in to take this oil off there without having to do it by hand. When I went out there to Pensacola Beach last week, I was there on Monday a week ago today, and they had people that BP hired out there on the beach picking up every little plot of oil mousse. And there were a lot of them no any bigger than the end of my little finger. That's very inefficient. It may give all those people jobs. In fact, that's what they said to me. That's what the people who contracted at BP said. We don't really want to see that equipment out there because we think we should be helping these people have jobs. Well, if you remember what else was involved with that, they were bringing even illegal immigrants in to do those jobs. Right. They were bringing people in from out of state. So now they're trying to make up for that by saying we're going to hire a lot of locals, when in fact there's equipment that's there. And the science that's there, we need to bring that to bear on it very quickly. I'm not governor right now, but I'm sure shouting from the rooftops about it. When I am governor, we're still going to have a mess. This is not going to go away in the several months between now and the election. I hope it will get stabilized. We all pray that oil spill gets capped or stopped or whatever. By August, they say it will. I mean, everybody seems to believe, and I'd like to as well, that the slant drilling at the very least will work. But you know what they announced today? Mike Sola in our meeting today said now, as of just a few minutes before he came in the meeting about 2 o'clock or 2:15, he was told that by Admiral Allen, the Coast Guard, that the spill is now estimated to be at 35,000 to 60,000 gallons, or barrels, I guess it is, a day. 35,000 to 60,000 barrels a day. Now remember, they start out with 1,000, and then it went to 5,000. Then somebody said maybe it's up to 15,000. Now it's up to 35 to 60. So we need that stopped, and we need to hold people accountable. So part of my job, I just want to end this point, because you're going to go on endlessly about what you're going to do, because you don't know exactly what you're going to do. But the key to this is having somebody as governor who's going to stand up for our state, help organize the efforts of our own people, the people who work for us, the Fish and Wildlife folks, the people who are at Department of Environmental Protection, work with the counties. The counties are very frustrated right now with the claims process. What are we going to do? They need to be we need to be all working together. We need to have a seamless state operation. Our emergency management team, by the way, is good. If they would turn that over to what the group that runs the hurricane stuff for us instead of what Obama's got going or the Coast Guard, honest to God, think we do a lot better job. Now, I got to fight as governor for our state, fight with the feds because it's a Fed law we have to deal with, but we will do our part to protect our state and to recover every red cent that's owed to the people of Florida, either to our local or state governments or to the private enterprises that are being put out of business or harmed because of this oil spill. We will recover every penny from BP. Every penny.
Thank you. We were dismayed, and I'm sure you were too, also in the meeting that Obama had and that President Obama had, where you were not included. And I thought that was just quite amazing that here within the state of Florida, and it borders the Gulf, and yet Attorney General Bill McCollum was not included in that. What was the take on that?
Well, I don't know. I still don't know the reason I wasn't included. You know, they have their excuse for it, and I suspect maybe you know, other things. But the fact is that I wasn't included, and it gave me a chance to have a larger podium to argue for some of the things we need for our state. And I did it with letters to Holder the Attorney General. I did it with letters to the President asking the waiver of the Jones Act. I was able to be on television 2 or 3 times nationally over this and did things, I think, that further the cause even more than our sitting governor could do, because he's having to be, or appears to be, thinking he has to be closer to the administration than I feel. I'm not close to this administration at all. I'm not worried about them one red cent. But in addition to that, I think what really is material here, so you know it, I will be in a call. They did invite me tomorrow in a conference call with the Attorney General Holder and the other Attorneys General. So we'll see what he has to say tomorrow, okay? We're doing our thing, but we'll listen. We certainly will listen.
Thank you for being bold on that, because we have noticed you on the news and taken a full advantage of the fact, instead of just going away quietly, but you were bold enough to say, listen, it wasn't included, and getting the, shouting it from the rooftops. So we really appreciate your strong stand for the state of Florida on that. You know, we're talking about also the impact of it. We are losing in jobs. You were talking about, as far as that's concerned, the environmental problems. Long term, how do you see the solution? I know you're saying you're going to fight for every penny. How does that translate?
Well, the long-term solution, you're asking about the oil crisis or the state of Florida. The long-term solution on the state of Florida is to lure businesses here and to create the climate in Florida to grow our small businesses. We have a lot of ideas that are coming out of our universities. We're a leader in nanotech, and most people don't realize that. We have tremendous opportunities. I could give you examples of them, even aerospace opportunities here. One of them I was dealing with in the past couple of days to hopefully get a major new business into the Cape area up in Brevard County, where we're losing it. But we have not been marketing Florida well. The governor has not been the chief economic development officer of our state, and that's what I'm going to be. And despite all the other things that we're talking about tonight, looking out for our state's future, having a governor who focuses his energy on economic development, on bringing jobs here, on growing jobs, on bringing capital here. We don't have enough early stage venture capital, which is the, you know, $100,000 or $500,000 or under $1 million for small businesses that need it to keep going before they're stolen and taken away to North Carolina or Texas or wherever. That's the kind of governor you need in order for us to grow jobs. And the plan I've got up on the website that Steve Forbes vetted, his team says will produce 500,000, 500,000 new jobs in 6 years.
Wow.
And I'm fully intend to implement that. It's a whole range of things.
That's exciting. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.